morning, class. Today we're going to be doing multiplication tables first, and then we will move on into fractions, adding a fraction with a common denominator. So if you first take your multiplication tables and fill it in for me, that would be great. You have 5 minutes to do this. I will also walk around and make sure you guys are doing this correctly, and if you need help, please raise your hand. So during this time, I'd be going around the class for the 5 minutes and working with kids that need help, where I see that they're struggling for help. I would help them with that. Usually when they're done, they would go turn it in and get a book and read until our 5 minutes is up. Or if everybody's done at that within that 5 minutes, and we'll go ahead and start our lesson. So our lesson is, students, we're going to be working on finding a common denominator to do an addition problem. So here's my example. So we have first we're going to talk about our vocabulary. First we have the denominator. On the denominator, that is this part right here of our fraction. Okay, so in our fraction, we want these two bottom numbers to be the same to be able to add them. Another one we're going to do is, another term might be common denominator. Again, that's just those bottom boxes of our fraction. And we'll have to find a common number that we can do our problem by. Another one, it might be simplify. So when we get our answer, they'll be here. We'll get our answer, and then we might have to simplify it. So if it came out to be 2 over 4, we can simplify our 2 over 4 to 1/2. Okay? So I'm going to do one problem with you guys and make sure you guys don't have any questions. Okay, so I do. So our first problem, you can write this down on your notes. Okay, so my first problem is 3 over 4 plus 2 over 8. So I need to find a common denominator for both of these, my 8 and my 4. Okay, so can someone tell me, can 4 go into 8? That might be my first idea, because 8 is a bigger number, so we need to see if our 4 can go into our 8. It can. Okay, so what we're going to be doing, we're going to times this number. We have to do it to the top to get what we're going to be getting. Okay, so 4 times what equals our 8? 2. So if I do that to the bottom, then I have to do that to the top. So 3 times 2 is 6, and 4 times 2 is our 8. Okay, then we have 2 over 8. Sorry. Since our numbers, our denominators are both 8, we are able to keep this the same. Okay, so I'm going to bring this over here. Hopefully everybody can see it. Okay, so now we're going to add this. What's 6 plus 2? 6, 7, 8. Very good. And then our denominator is going to stay the same, which is our 8. So 8 over 8 equals 1 whole. So if I had 8 slices of pizza and I took all 8 of them, I would have had 1 whole of a pizza that I've eaten. Okay, so that's our first example. Anybody have questions with that? Okay, our next problem. Make sure you guys are writing this down, please. All right, so we got 3 over 6 plus 3 over 12. Our first thing we need to do is find our common denominator. Very good. So these bottom numbers have to be the same. My first thing I'm going to do is see if my 6 can go into my 12. How many times? You have multiplication charts in front of you, so you may use those. So let's do 12. Very good. So what am I timesing the 6 by to get 12? 6 times 1 is 6. What's 6 times 2, someone? 12, very good. So I'm going to times by 2. If I do that to the top or the bottom, I have to do it to the top. Sorry, guys. So 6 times 2 is our 12. And 3 times 2 is 6. Very good. Our common denominator is 12, so I can just bring this down and begin to my adding. So it's 6 plus 3, 9. Very good. And 12 plus 12, 12 is our common denominator, so it stays the same. Oops, sorry guys. Okay, so we got 9 over 12. Can that be reduced? Here's our another vocab. Reduce, simplify. Those are the same things. Can our 9 and 12 be reduced? Yes. We're going to reduce it by 3s. So 3 goes into 9 how many times? 3 times 1 is 3. 3 times 2 is 6. So what's 3 times 3? 9. Very good. So it's going to be our 3. And how many times does 3 go into 12? 4. Very good. So our answer is 3 over 4. Does this all make sense? We can't just go 6 plus 12 and get our denominator. It has to be the same numbers. Okay? Once we are done with this, you guys are going to be working on your own on a worksheet. And after that worksheet, if you are completely done, you guys will move on to Zearn, okay, and start your lessons there. All right, here's one that might be a little bit easy for some. All right, so we got 1/2 plus 1/3. Both of these numbers, we have to find a common denominator. Okay, so if I want to do that, I can go 2 times 1 is 2. 2 times 2 is 4. 2 times 3 is 6. 2 times 4 is 8. Okay, now let's try it on this side. 3 times 1 equals 3. 3 times 2 equals 6. Oh look, we have a common. So we're going to be timesing right here to get our 6. So 1/2. We're going to be timesing 1/2 by our 3, because that's our missing number, by 3. The 6, 1 times 3 is 3, very good. Okay, so that's our new one. And we got our 1/3. What are we going to times this one by? We did our 3s, we're going to do it by 2s, okay? So by 2, by 2. 3 times 2 is 6. 1 times 2 is 2. Now we can add it. So our bottom number is going, our bottom denominator is going to be the same numbers. 6, very good. Now we're doing 3 plus 2 is 5, very good. Can this be reduced? No, very good. 5 can only go by 5s, 1s, okay? 5 can't go into a 6, so it can't be reduced. That is our answer. All right, so I want you guys to try working on this problem on your own. Do you guys have any questions? No, okay. This is your own problem on your piece of paper that you have. Write this down. I want you guys to try to find your answers. Okay, I'll give you about 2-3 minutes and we'll go over it. Again, this time if I was in my classroom, I'd be going to, within that 2 to 3 minutes, I'd walk around and make sure the kids, like my ELL, my SPED kids, if they needed a little bit more guidance, I could sit down with them with that 2 to 3 minutes and make sure that they got this done. All right, so we got to find a common denominator. 11 and 4, very good. 44, very good. So we got to times this by 4 and this by 4. So we got 28 over 44. Okay, now I gotta do that to my 3 times 4. 3 over 4, sorry. Times this by 11. That's 33 over 44. Okay, now I need to add it. So what's our bottom number? 44. Very good, guys. Top, what's 8 plus 3? 8, 9, 10, 11. Carry my 1. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 61. Okay, we have not practiced making this into a mixed number, so for right now that's what we'll just leave it as. Next steps will be subtracting and making this into simplify, so this would be a mixed number, but right now we'll just leave it at this. Okay, does anybody have any questions? No. All right, at this time you'll be passing out your papers, your homework. You can start your homework now. If you get it completely done, looks like you won't have any homework for the rest of the day or for that tonight. If you do get it done, I will correct it, and if you are completely done, you'll get on to Zearn or some type of Chromebook activity that deals with math. All right, if you have any questions, raise your hand. Thank you. At this time, I'd pass out my assignment, get the kids started. Again, walk around the classroom to make sure none of them need help. I might sit with a small group if I know that a couple of them just need to be retaught it. There's sometimes that I'll just sit and watch and then walk around and make sure that they're all understanding this. Again, once they're done, if they get done, because there's about 10 more minutes left. So if they don't get done, then the rest will be for homework. If they do get it done, they will have it, turn it in, I'll correct it, look over it, make the corrections that they need, and then they can get on to Zearn or some type of math computer activity.